If you weren't around for the 90s and early 2000 version of hip hop and R&B, you missed out on a phenomenal time. There were so many different flavors of music, and everyone had their own sound. Every region, every city even had its own sound. So I'm from the South, so we're talking 8-Ball, MJG, Outkast, UGK, Ghetto Boys. And if you're a connoisseur, we're talking about Death Row. We're talking about Bad Boy. We're talking about everything they had going on down in Miami with Trick and, Slip and Slide and JT Money and all of that, man. We're talking the Midwest with Nappy Roots and Nelly and the guys who came out of the Midwest, Twister, Do or Die, and the R&B artists who came along with that, with their hip hop flavored style of R&B. It was a phenomenal time. And female artists were grinders then. Not everyone was doing the sexy red dance or the city girls thing. There were some girls who really got it in. And Rough Riders female artist Eve was one of those. Well respected by her peers, and even her male counterparts respected the griminess and the fervor with which she spit whenever the mic was in front of her. But she also had a history of very toxic relationships with immature men who couldn't decide that they didn't have to sleep with everyone. And even now, we have many of you men, grown men, 30, 40, 50 years old, still around here acting like you got to sleep with everything. And mostly, it's black men. And her relationship with Stevie J, which had its history of violence and also its leaking of intimate videos between the two, had a bunch of those things in it. And as many black women that you come across in America, she had the scars that came from that.
It's all black men. And I'll put your dreads behind your ear when I fucking say this. Y'all are something else. As a black woman, I'm supposed to carry the team, hold shit down, be a teammate, love on you, and accept some bare minimum shit sometimes because you have emotional trauma that stops you from fully loving me. What? And at first, I was really like sitting here in the matrix of black men and probably in pick me energy, like, yo, I really be feeling sorry for them. Like, I got a big heart. I love my black men down, regardless of whatever. No, I don't. I don't love you regardless at all. And I used to be like, I am Nicole. I don't love you regardless because you don't love you and you don't love me. No. These black men be having stories about their trauma and all that other shit. And I be trying to understand. Maybe because I'm an educator. Maybe because I got trauma. Maybe it's Maybelline.
When a woman is with a man and she's constantly cheated on by that man with total disregard for how it makes her look in public or how it makes him look in public, eventually she starts to expect that behavior from all men. And when you meet a woman now, she expects that behavior. She's amazed by the fact that you're a true alpha male who stands on principle and says what you mean and means what you say, who can, if required, if decided, be intimate with just one woman. Because you're not some little boy who's emotionally distraught and still hanging on to your mommy, didn't get the proper amount of love. No man ever showed you how to be in control of your emotions. So you're so afraid that you're gonna fall in love and get hurt by someone that you just gotta have a bunch of women around all the time, a roster, a multitude of women all over the place. And now Eve is married. Of course, after all of those issues with her same-race boyfriends, she went the other route and went outside of her race. But recently, there's an interview where she said for the first 3 years of that situation, all of the baggage that she brought with her from those relationships almost ruined this one.
The first few years of our relationship, definitely baggage was there. We were long distance for a year. There'd be times where I'd freak out. Like, he'd be in London, I'm in LA. The time difference is nuts. And if he didn't answer the phone, I'd immediately be like, who are you with? What's going on? And he'd be like, I am not that person. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a few years before I could really be like, oh no, I believe him. And yes, this is such a different situation. Yeah. Thank God. But it took a minute.
I'm wondering how falling in love with Max, someone who felt so safe, changed you.
He's very good at being like 2 feet on the ground, and I live in the clouds. Like, I'm very much like, and he's very good at being like, just come back down here. So that has helped a lot. What's nice is knowing that I can be truly, fully who I am and not feel crazy for it. Because in past relationships, when I would be emotional, it'd be like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? And it's like, oh wait, is something wrong with me? So that is a great place to be. We are very honest with who we are with each other. And that, I never had that before. I always call it's my grown-up relationship. I never had a grown-up relationship before. Who knew it could be actually kind of easy and not like anxiety?
But eventually she came to realize that this man was a man of his word. He was a man who didn't do things in the dark and hide them. He was a man that if he said he was somewhere, he was there. And so eventually, after about 3 or 4 years in, she realized that she had a mature relationship. A relationship with a man who was who he said he is. And many times women don't get an opportunity to deal with that. See, we as men all the time want to say the woman is this and the woman is that and she's this and hypergamy and all of this. But you got to understand that most men are grimy. Most black men are grimy when it comes to their relationships with women. They're just grimy. You know, when you see a man who has multiple women pregnant at the same time, or, you know, you see a man who's, you know, he's living this and doing that, and he's got a wife and he's lying to her and he's publicly sleeping with other women, man, that's weak. That's not masculinity. Being led by your wood is not masculine. There's a whole bunch of feminine energy going around here, man. A whole bunch of feminine. Y'all act like female lions in heat. That's what it is. Too many men are always in heat. And then you tell these young guys, hey man, don't take care of yourself now. It's better to go out here and be with all these women than to take care of yourself. I'm telling you right now as a man, hey man, it's better for you to take care of yourself than it is for you to be out here chasing women and tricking off your wood and giving your masculinity away like these suckers tell you to do. If you gotta pick one of those, just taking care of yourself is better. It comes with less headaches. Now, I'm not saying get into the habit of that where you wasting time doing that. But man, even that is better than going out here chasing all these women, having all these women. Because let me tell you this, if you're a man of means and you're in a position where you know you have the things in the presentation that makes women weak for you, and you just going around here running through women and doing all that, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem, and you probably had a health issues to show with that. You probably have the mental incapacity to prove that comes along with that. You probably have the emotional instability that comes along with that. So that's why you need to know a woman's history, not her intimate history. You need to know her emotional count, not her body count. The emotional count. Now, most times the emotional count just automatically comes with the body count, but the emotional count is a much more damaging thing because if a woman has gone through enough things emotionally, man, she can't successfully enter into a relationship. She has to grow into it. And that's why if a woman is valuable enough to you, man, then you got to understand, you got to take the time to let her see that you are different from those suckers that she's been with before. If a woman has been cheated on 9 times out of 10, the next man she get with gonna cheat on us who? Because these men aren't honest enough to say, hey, listen, right now it's just you and I. And then when you don't want that anymore, even if you don't want that from the beginning, okay, there's gonna be, I want you in this position. You can be my only one. You can be my number one, but not my own. You can be my number one, but not my only one. I'm gonna have to have a number 2. Give a woman the opportunity because there's many women who will say, okay, you're honest with me, I'm okay with that. A woman just don't want to be deceived. And many of you men are deceptive. That's why I don't deal with a whole bunch of guys, man. Because I'm going to tell you like this, man. If you lie, like Future told y'all, he keep it real with his partners, he lied to his chick. What's real about that? Life is a much better place when everybody around you, everybody who deals with you understand what they're dealing with. See, my thing is, if you lie to a woman and tell her it's just her because you want her to just be with just you, but she wouldn't do that if she knew the truth, then you're a sucker. It's not a real way to be. And just because you figured out a way to make money, that don't mean you're a real man because women make money too. Does that make her a real man? No, you got to understand that as a man, it's your job. It's your job to keep it a buck with the woman in your life. It's your job to not be deceptive. It's your job to not be a liar. Why are you lying to a woman if you're not afraid to lose her? Not every woman is destined to be an emotional wreck for life. But the more time she's in a relationship with a dishonest man, a man who won't be truthful, a man she got to deal with people running up on her trying to fight, a man who's publicly embarrassing her. That's not what alpha men stand on. And that's certainly not a part of the ism. How you gonna be in the ism and tell this woman, hey, it's just me and you, and then she see you got other women out there working the streets too? Nah, man, the ism, the one thing the ism is honest with a woman about the circumstances. Now, am I saying you might not have to manipulate your woman's emotions a little bit, man, to make her feel better when she's feeling bad for the wrong reason, or when she viewing something the wrong way and you got to reel her back in and give it to her in cartoon form in a way that she can understand? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you when it comes to the circumstances and conditions of a relationship, you as a man are a sucker if you're not keeping it a buck with a woman about where she stands. And you end up with a situation with a woman who comes, now she meet a man like BOA, I'm on the up and up with her. She meet a true alpha like BOA. Now she come to me with all the baggage. She don't trust nothing. I tell her I'm here. What you doing now? Where you at? Who you with? I don't answer the phone. Who you with? What you doing? I thought you were. And unfortunately, I don't have time to deal with that. So here's a woman that could have fit into my life perfectly, who mind you f***ed up because you such a weak man. You're a liar. You're deceptive. And I don't care what nobody say. Anybody who tell you that's the way to be with a woman, man, he a real live sucker. That's just the way it is. So I want you young men to think about this. Stop listening to those fools who telling you to be a dishonest man, who telling you to be deceptive, who telling you to be a weak man who can't even be honest with a woman about who you are and what you want. Stop listening to those suckers. You listen to a man like BOA because I'm going to tell you what your daddy should have told you. I'm going to tell you what your granddaddy should have told you. If you're a man, you lead from the front. And so you got to be whatever it is you want from the woman. If you want honesty from the woman, you be honest. If you want loyalty from the woman, you be loyal. And by loyal, I mean that you make sure that you treat her the way you want her to interact with you. You want her to be honest with you. You want her to be forthcoming with you. You want her to let you know when things have changed in her mind. That's why so many suckers end up in a relationship and they wake up and they done got a divorce decree. They ain't even know the woman wanted a divorce because you've been misled by men who are suckers instead of men who are the alpha crown on their head. And like I told you before, honesty comes with being alpha, because if God is the alpha and the omega, there ain't no alpha without the Most High. You got two choices. You can listen to evil, wicked men who are proudly evil and wicked, who brag about their wickedness, or you can listen to a man who is striving every day to live a life that's pleasing to the Most High and get true blessings, not just sex from a bunch of random women. Peace.